to week 9. If you haven't been following, this is a series where we have... Hi.
I can be quiet, but I'm going to be running the train, so you're going to hear the farming simulator train noise. But I can be part of the video if my dad wants me to.
Sure, anytime you want. This is a video where we have opened a TFSA account.
Can I sit in your lap?
Sure.
But what about your root foot?
Oh, that's okay. I sprained my ankle, but you can still sit on my lap. So we've opened a TFSA account. We're putting $100 a week into it and investing in Canadian stocks. So we're in week 9, and we've just bought 2 stocks, and we're just going to go through the TFSA and give a quick update. Anything you want to say before we start?
Let's start about our stocks.
Okay. So now, going forward, we're going to be here every 2 weeks, and we're going to put $200 every 2 weeks. So same idea, $100 a week. It's just we're going to do it every 2 weeks. So let's go into the portfolio, and we'll show you what we've done so far and the stocks that we just purchased in the last week. So Brookfield, we have 4 shares of Brookfield. We're heavy on Brookfield. It takes about 20% of our portfolio at the moment. That's because it wasn't quite a bit of a dip, and I was taking advantage of that, and also I wanted to get in before that ex-dividend date just to get 4 shares worth of dividends. BMO is one of the stocks we purchased in the last week. We had an extra $58 in the pot, so we had $250 to spend in the last week. We bought two shares, one each of banks. I am going to be heavy in the banks. I love the banks. Canadians love their banks, and I'm no different. So BMO is one of the banks we bought this week. Canadian National, that's bounced back quite a bit. They have won their bidding war with Canadian Pacific. Now it goes into the hands of the U.S. regulators, which is no guarantee that they will go through with that acquisition of Kansas City Southern. The issue for most shareholders, myself included, is that Canadian National is in a deal where if that merger doesn't go through, they're still on the hook for $1 billion to the U.S. Surface Transportation Board, and another $700 million they will pay to Kansas City Southern in order for them to pay Canadian Pacific for their breakup fee, because, as you know, they did have an agreement with Canadian Pacific to be purchased by them before Canadian National came in with a better offer. Power Corp is one of my favorite companies. We've got 2 shares. We'll be adding a little bit more. Continues to go up, and they pay a good dividend. So far, so good with them. QU, I have 22 shares. This is a little pet project of mine, if you will. I like this company. It's a penny stock, which goes against the grain for me. But I like the company, I like the management, and I like the plan. And most importantly, I like that they've stuck to their plan. They're doing what they said they were going to do. Also, this $3.33, that's unavailable. That's because I have a limit buy for QU at 33 cents for 10 shares. That's something I do once in a while. I use it as kind of a trap. I set it and I forget it because I'm not in this portfolio every day. Usually, once a week or so. So when QU comes down to 33 cents, that'll trigger that limit buy, and we'll grab 10 cheap shares. And I know it will come down because there's such high volatility in that stock. So that's how I use the limit buy, and we'll get more into that with another stock coming up. RioCan, we have 2 shares of that. That's a good monthly dividend paying stock, and they do have some growth left, some recovery growth. They were trading at about $26, $27 before the pandemic, so they have a little ways to go before they get back to those levels. Royal Bank is the other stock that we purchased this week. Another bank, biggest bank in Canada, and that's a good steady growth stock that pays a good dividend. TELUS, that's my telecommunications play. I don't like Bell and I don't like Rogers. Don't tell me to buy those. Personal reasons, I've had run-ins with both those companies in the past. I don't like how they do business. Bell and Rogers for sure I've had problems with. I don't want to buy either one of them. So TELUS it is. They pay a good dividend and slow growth. TD Global Technology Leaders, that's an ETF that I bought to get more exposure into the U.S. as well as exposure to the tech sector, which has been taking a beating, and it was in a bit of a dip. So I will be adding to that periodically, and I'll be adding some more ETFs as well. WSP, this one we bought, I deleted the video that we bought it in because I filmed it up north and the quality was really bad. But we did use a limit buy to get that, and it worked to perfection. Basically what we did was we had $125 in change in our balance, and WSP was trading for 30 cents more than that. We didn't have enough for it. So I set a limit buy for everything we had. All we needed was for WSP to come down 30 cents, and then that would trigger the limit buy. So I went to sleep that night, and because of the schedule up there, I didn't wake up until about noon, and WSP came down 30 cents right at the opening bell. It only stayed in that range for about 10 minutes, but because we set that limit buy, it triggered it. We were able to capture that share at the price that we wanted, and then as you can see, it shot back up. It's up $10. It immediately shot back up. It was only down for about 10 minutes, but because we had that limit buy set, we were able to get it for that low price, and now we own it, and we wouldn't have owned it if we didn't have that limit buy. So that's another good reason to use limit buys. So that's our portfolio. It's up $29 since we began. That's 3%. Let's go over to the spreadsheet here. I'll show you our portfolio. I want to focus on the asset allocation here. So Brookfield, as you can see, it's 20% of our portfolio. It's way too high. I usually stick to about 8%. 5 to 8% is where I want my holdings. But we're early. It's way too early to be looking at asset allocation. But we're just starting to. We're about $1,000 in, so we can start to have a look at it. I will take it easy a little bit on Brookfield because they have bounced back, and we did take advantage of the dip. So that was the goal there. And the other stocks here, Canadian National, WSP, and the two banks, because our portfolio is so small and their share price is so high, one share of each of those brings us into the mid-teens. So we'll be adding to those, but periodically. We don't want that to get too high. For example, if I was to buy another share of Canadian National right now, that would be 29% of my portfolio. It's way too high. So we're going to focus on some other stocks. We're going to add a few, and we're going to add to the ones we have here. So QU, 0.95% of my portfolio. That's exactly where I want it, between 0.5 and 1%. But I would go as high as 1.25 with that. It's such a small portion of the portfolio. There's no problem there. And as that company grows, that will grow into its own allocation. So I'm not worried about pumping too much money into QU, but I will continue to keep it about 1% of our portfolio. The tech ETF is right where I want it, about 5%. Power Corp's a little bit high, but I'm still going to add to it because I love that stock. I'll get heavy into it early, and then I'll back off to bring it back to about 8%. TELUS, we're going to add a little bit as well, and same with RioCan. We have a couple more. I'll come over to the other screen here. I've added these two at the bottom here. Go Easy Financial, I'm having a hard time getting their ESG score. That's one that I was on the fence with for a while. It's a lender that it charges pretty high interest rates to people that don't qualify for a bank loan, but they're allowing people to furnish their home, to buy everyday products that they wouldn't normally afford. However, the flip side of that is they charge outrageously high interest rates. So I put it on the watch list. It doesn't necessarily mean I'm going to buy it. I still have to do a little more digging into that company. I know it's a good company financially. I did own it for a while before I decided to sell it. That's one of the few companies I've ever sold for that reason, the ethics reason. But I just recently I was seeing another side of it. I watched a YouTube video that explained both sides. So I'm still on the fence with that. I'm not necessarily going to add it, but it is on the radar. The other one I added back was Alimentation Couche-Tard. That's a grocery or a convenience store and gas station chain. The ESG score does slip under my 24.0 self-imposed limit. I don't know about it is a good dividend growth company. Long term, being a gas station, not 100% sure, but this is only going to be maybe a 15 to 20 year project in this portfolio. So in the next 20 years, do I see gas stations being eliminated? No. Do I see them being reduced? Maybe towards the end of that time span. But I do like that stock right now. If I do add it, it will be one that I will keep a close eye on. And then we have the rest of the portfolio or the watch list here. I did add Labrador Iron Mines as well. They have a low ESG score, but despite being a mine, I have worked in iron mines before, and I currently work in a different type of mine. I know that the environment's on site, so they're very strict with every Rio. They're very strict with the environment and taking care of the wildlife and the local land. So they do adhere to that as much as they can. But it is a mine, so the ESG score will be a little higher. But as you can see, that's a low one. So going over to this section here, we are measuring up against the TSX, and since we began, the TSX is 4.38 up, and we are up 3.27. I'm not too worried about that because it's still early. And another way you can look at that is if you were to buy an index fund, they do charge 0.2%. So you can take 0.2% off of that number. It doesn't really help us, but we're still losing by quite a bit. But it is early. We were winning for the first 8 weeks, so that does go up and down. So that's where we stand. We'll go back to the main screen here. So we're up $30 now. That's where we stand after 9 weeks. Purpose of this portfolio: show you how easy it is to set up. We have a tutorial video. The link is in the description. Show you how easy it is to set up, how easy it is to deposit money and start managing your own portfolio. And I'm going to add some index funds as well, just to show you how easy it is to do that. Okay, so we'll see you in 2 weeks. Thanks for watching. Please like, please subscribe if you are a fan of the video. It really helps out. And I'm very happy with the response so far. Much better than I thought for a video that's just starting out, and I appreciate that very much. See you in 2 weeks. Thanks. Done real.
Sorry, I can interrupt, can't I? People know me.
Yeah, but not too much. Yeah, people know you.